Hello, welcome to Become a Music Teacher's video showing you how to invoice your students for online lessons. So if you're using Skype, let's say for example, or Google Video, then you need to take some payment. How do you do that? Well, this is a really simple way to do it. The first thing to do is to go to your PayPal account. Hopefully you've got one. I'm going to sign in through Google just to show you how you can do it. I've got one myself, but if you haven't, okay, make sure you log into it. You will need a sort of bank debit card type sort of thing, so you can put your details in there where you basically want to receive your money from. So I'm logging in there at the moment, and on the toolbar at the top you can see it says request money. You see my mouse is up there. If I click onto that, it should then allow us to either request money or create an invoice. I tend to create an invoice. It just looks a lot more professional. So I'll click on create an invoice, and I've got my default template. You can set several of these up if you want to, but I've got my default one with our logo on there for the guitar teaching, my details on there, and you can change a lot of the details. So if you've got an invoice number that you tend to use, you can stick it on there, the date the invoice needs to go out on, a few other things for your payment terms on that. I tend to keep it as it is default there, and if you want to predate your lessons from there on, or the time that you want the person to pay, then you can put that on there. But I wouldn't change any of that other than the invoice number on there. I don't tend to do that, but it's up to you. Okay, so probably one of the most important things on here is to put in the email address of your student. So if you can put that in there, as you can see, I've got one there already set up, and make sure they have a PayPal account. If they haven't, it will send it out and it will ask them to set it up, so it can be done from there on. You can also build up a recipient's name and address, sort of address book, as it were. So if you're regularly invoicing people, it's very easy to go into that and set them up from there. One of the things I would advise you to do is just check that it's set to your currency within your country. I'm in England, so I'm going to use British pounds, but I have seen in people in the UK that it pops up with US dollars on there. So just make sure it's in pounds, because you won't get your full money's worth on there. Okay, so this is where you put in your description. So we want a music lesson, 1 hour, blah, whatever else you want to put in there. Quantity, how many lessons are you giving? You might be in 4 or 5 lessons, so we'll put 5 in there. And the unit price, so let's say they're hour lessons, so I'm going to stick 30 quid in there. And you can see it's totting them up to 150 quid on there. Below there you can offer things like discounts. So let's say they book 5 lessons, you give them a 10% discount, stick that in, it's taken 15 quid off. And maybe postage and packaging, well, that would be more like your sort of travel and stuff like that. So let's say I'm travelling out to there, so I'm going to charge them a tenner for that, for all of those lessons. Your terms and conditions, so anything you want to put in there at all. I'm going to put no refunds available on there, but you can put in other bits and pieces, such as I only teach from my home, or whatever you want to do that. Note to recipient, I just generally put in what it's actually for. So for 5 guitar lessons, singing lessons, drum lessons, piano lessons, you can do that through all of our sites at becomeamusicteacher.com. And then a memo to yourself, so who's it's actually for. So this one's for Mr. Test, and he's having a, what did I say, guitar lesson or drums? Guitar lesson. So guitar lesson I'll put into there. Okay, for under my guitar lessons.co.uk could be. Okay, so first thing I tend to do is just to preview it, just to check I've got all the details correct on there. So go through it just to make sure that everything's set, the total price is correct on there. You can obviously print it out. I want to send it out to my recipient, so it's gone out, and under here you can see that it's shown when I've sent it out, when it's due, who I've sent it to. That's what it will look like. If I click on it, you can see the invoice again, and if they do forget to pay for it, then you can always send a reminder out, and that's the total at the end. Okay, so let's go and have a look and see what the recipient actually gets on the other end. Okay, let's go into my inbox, and we'll just wait for that to come through. There we go, it's popped through eventually. So I'll open up the email. And this is what it looks like. It's an invoice, my name at the top. I'm receiving this for £145, and for me to then pay that, as a recipient, as a student, as it were, I'd click on View and Pay Invoice. It would take me then into my own PayPal account, and I can set up the payments from there on. So very simple to do. If you've got any questions about that, please do get in touch with us. The best email address to contact us on is info, that's INFO, info at becomeamusicteacher.com. becomeamusicteacher.com. We hope to speak to you soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.